Hello everyone, it is me, Louis, aka Duncan Gaming, and today I will be giving you a video I've been wanting to make for around 2 years now, and well, I finally got the chance to do it. This video will be explaining why I think Season 6 is better than Season 7. I will be going over 10 points as to why I think this. Now, even though this is a defense video on Season 6, I think it's important to address the things that I think Season 7 did better than Season 6. Firstly, is the character quality. I like how Season 7 made it so that every character got an equal amount of screen time and attention. Nobody truly felt left out in Season 7. Of course, characters like Thomas, Gordon and Scarlowe got more attention, but most of the established characters were given lead role. Well, except Duck, but whatever. Secondly, I think the lighting in Season 7 is more pleasing to look at. However, it can be a bit too saturated, especially with the red colours. And lastly, I love how Season 7 handled Edward. In my opinion, Edward's brass band is the only episode after Season 2 that got Edward perfect, and is the best Edward episode after Season 2. In Season 6, Edward only got focus on Edward the Really Useful Engine, and that episode was more about Gordon than him. The episode itself, it's mid in my opinion, and Edward's brass band is way superior, and it is my second favourite episode of Season 7. Okay, now I will discuss all the reasons why I personally think Season 6 is better than Season 7. Number 1, the humour. Season 6 is definitely the more funny of the two seasons. Episodes like No Sleep for Cranky, The World's Strongest Engine, Thomas the Jet Engine, Percy's Chocolate Crunch, and 40 Whistles are all episodes that have good funny moments of them. Season 7 does have its funny moments, but not as many as Season 6. Number 2, the music. Now, I'm not saying the music in Season 7 is bad, at least the UK music, but I prefer the themes used in Season 6 to Season 7, especially the new character themes like Salty, Harvey and the Pack. I also really like Thomas's theme in Season 6. It still sounds like the grown-up mature Thomas from Season 5, but more calm and less grand, although I still prefer a Season 5 theme. Number 3, the sets. I think the sets in Season 6 look a lot more detailed and good looking than in Season 7. I really do not like that yellow rock they used in Season 7 a lot, and the Scarlowe Railway sets in that season suck, but the narrow gauge sets in Season 6 are very underrated in my opinion. Of all the locations on the Scarlowe Railway that we see in the model series, the ones from Season 6 look the most like the Tallylyn Railway in my opinion, with the big fields, small halts and small sidings. As for the standard gauge sets, they don't look bad. I love the industrial sets the most, especially ones like the Tippers Loading Ramp, the Smelters Yard and Brendam Docks. Industrial Yards was definitely the strong point of this season. Number 4, the stories. In my opinion, the stories are much more eventful and entertaining in Season 6 than the ones in Season 7. Maybe that's partially due to the visuals being more impressive and more crashes happening, but I just think the scripts are better written in Season 6 overall. Number 5, the crashes. The crashes in Season 6 are another one of its strongest aspects. Everyone seems to go on about how violent Season 5 is, but no one talks about Season 6 and how Diesel fell off a dock and landed on a barge 25 feet below him, Percy crashing into the chocolate factory, probably killing some of the workers inside, Gordon tumbling down a hill at like 60 miles an hour, crashing through a pile of hay, tires and a shed, Duncan flying off the edge of a cliff into a muddy swamp, a water tower falling over, a bridge collapsing, and not to mention a massive red balloon landing on James, which could have resulted in catching fire from James's steam. Wow, no one talks about how insane these accidents are. There's also another aspect about these crashes that I love, which is... Number 6, the sound effects. Okay, well, I don't think I really need to go into detail for this one because I can just show you audio clips of the episodes and then you'll completely understand what I'm saying. Here's an instrumental of an opening to an episode from Season 7. And here is an instrumental of an opening to a Season 6 episode. In the Season 7 instrumental, all you can hear is the music, quiet whistles, and very, very quiet chuffing. Whilst in the Season 6 instrumental, you can hear the music, loud chuffing and clanking from trucks, and loud whistles. Season 6 easily has better sound design than Season 7, and there is also something that Season 6 does way better than Season 7 in terms of audio, and that is number 7, the narration. So for the narration, I'm only going to be using the UK dubs as an example, because I have not seen every episode of Season 6 and 7 in the US dub, and to be honest, I don't really want to watch them all just for this one video. So, when you compare the narration from Michelangelos from Season 7 to Season 6, it's night and day. In Season 6, Michelangelos is fantastic. His energy is amazing and is pleasing to the ear and easy to understand. You can clearly tell which character is which by his voices, and it just sounds right. If I were to one day rank all the UK seasons in terms of narration, Season 6 gets the easy first place victory. When listening to the episodes, you can clearly tell Angelos loves doing this. I will play some audio clips from some of the episodes so you can hear his amazing narration for yourself.
"Oh, bother!" exclaimed Percy. "That foghorn is so loud it rattles my dome, and it doesn't even make my axles tingle."
"We're a cracking crew," laughed Kelly.
"And all the better for Jack's being here," said Isabella.
"Welcome to the pack, Jack."
Cheered Alfie.
Jack was so happy he couldn't think of anything to say.
So he just revved his engine and bounced his bucket.
"Push, push, push! Heave ho, you can pull, but we won't go," sang the trucks. This made Diesel very cross. He pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled. "Help!"
Skidded on the oily rails.
"Oh no!"
Hooted Percy.
"Yuck!" he groaned. "I've never been this dirty." He was covered from funnel to firebox in sticky, gooey chocolate.
But the troublesome trucks had spotted a chance for a tease.
Poor Bill. He works, he suffers, while Benny's twin gets brand new buffers.
"I might not have new buffers," he said, "but I still know how to biff a truck."
"Oh!"
said Thomas.
The driver tried to put on the brakes, but Thomas couldn't stop. "Oh, boy!"
"Hi, Gordon. Bye, Gordon."
Gordon could not believe what he had seen. Ducks should play with other ducks, 'cause he's no good at pulling trucks. Quack, 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 hold back,
they giggled. "If I stop on this hill, I'll never get started again," he said crossly, and he buffered up to Duck.
Edward was excited.
He was going to be the back engine for 2 trains. Duncan steamed quietly back to the junction as the headmaster played the organ.
"Look," Rusty teased, "it's Duncan the musical engine."
"Absolutely," said Peter Sam, "even though an engine's not an engine without a whistle."
Unfortunately, in Season 7, he becomes quieter, less energetic, and sounds bored. Take a listen.
"The bravest," chuffed Oliver.
"It gives me great pleasure to present you with 2 new coaches."
"Thank you, sir," replied Emily. "I'm sorry I took Annie and Clarabelle."
"And I'm sorry I was so cross," replied Thomas.
It was a hot summer's day on the island of Sodor. The engines were busy taking trucks full of slate from the quarry. That evening, Arthur was having the squashed fruit cleaned out of his funnel. "I'm sorry I played a trick on you," said Thomas. "Thanks for owning up to it," replied Arthur. "Maybe spotless records are made to be broken," smiled Thomas. "And then mended again," finished Arthur, "just like friendships."
"I'm being repaired. I'm going back on the road."
"I think you'll be helping the new farmer," said Emily. "He needs to deliver his vegetables around the island."
"Vegetables? Huh. I'm going to carry passengers."
"You were very helpful at Sports Day." "So we thought you should have a medal of your own," added the boy. "My very own medal," said Thomas. "Thank you."
I don't think all of his narration this season was bad. He definitely had a couple great moments for sure.
Then there was trouble. The tall funnel of the old barge crashed through a pipe.
James was sure he'd get covered in sludge.
Suddenly, a tractor trundled across Duncan's line. "Look out!" shouted his driver. "Slow down!" whistled Rusty. "I can't!" Duncan cried as he shot past.
But even with good moments, I do have to say he downgraded in Season 7. Number 8. The morals. I will not deny the fact that Season 6 doesn't have morals, because it absolutely does. But they are not as blatant, or bland, or obvious as the ones used in Season 7 in my opinion. Yes, episodes like Duncan and Harvey to the Rescue have obvious morals. I think they're more well executed than the ones in Season 7. Episodes like The Spotless Record, Salty Stormy Tale, What's the Matter with Henry, and Trusty Rusty have obvious morals, which make the episodes weaker in my opinion. If only they were more subtle. Number 9. The new characters. I'll say I do not dislike any of the new characters from either of these seasons, but I do prefer the new ones from Season 6 to the ones from Season 7. I will start off by talking about the new characters from Season 7. Emily is just good. She's got an okay introduction episode. She isn't a bad character by any means, but unfortunately she's in 2 bad episodes, those being What's the Matter with Henry and Salty Stormy Tale. She's still a nice character though. I quite like Fergus in the episode Bill, Ben and Fergus, but unfortunately he got ruined in Fergus Breaks the Rules when he acts like a child. Nothing else to say about Fergus. Arthur is good. A big friendly tank engine that likes the fishing village. He had something going with a spotless record, but that only lasted for 1 episode, and unfortunately, Arthur was a victim of Thomas's unlikability in that season, which we will get to soon. I've got nothing on Murdoch, absolutely nothing. He's basically just Orange Henry, but instead of the nature, he likes peace and quiet. Spencer is simply iconic, and is definitely the best new character from Season 7. He gives Gordon more chemistry and starts a long rivalry between him. Now, let's talk about the Season 6 characters, and in my opinion, the superior characters. Salty is great, there is nothing bad to say about him. He's a jolly diesel who loves telling stories and likes being near the sea. Salty's Secret was a great episode, where it shows how much he misses the sea when he's away from it. Harvey is the weakest new character from Season 6, but he's still good with an okay introduction. I just wish he got other appearances outside of No Sleep for Cranky later in the season. Elizabeth is an underrated character. She only appears in 4 episodes this season, but she is a good character regardless. Now, the real highlight of the season is Jack in the Pack. Jack is an amazing character. We see him grow and learn from his mistakes and achieving his goal in his 2-parter. His 2-parter is one of the best parts about Season 6. It feels like Railway Series style of storytelling, where a story continues into the next episode. I can totally imagine this as like a Lost Railway Series book, number 27 from the 70s, illustrated by the Edwards. Imagine an alternate timeline where that was reality. Alfie and Kelly are also great characters, being supportive for Jack. Max is a great bully character, and Ned is a funny, bumbling steam shovel who reminds me a lot of Peter San. Oliver, Byron, and Isabella are alright, but they didn't get too much attention, and I prefer them in the Pack spin-off. Now, on to our last topic of the video. Number 10. How our main characters were handled. In this section, I will be talking about our returning main characters and how they were treated in Season 6 and 7. I will not talk about Edward as I already covered him earlier in the video, and I won't cover the narrow gauge engines because, well, I already talked about their portrayals in these seasons in my ranking list of the narrow gauge engines. The engines I will discuss about are Thomas, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Duck. Let's start off with Duck first. Nobody seems to talk about how much attention Duck got in Season 6. He is mainly present in the episodes Scaredy Engines, Edward the Really Useful Engine, Twin Trouble, and Toby Had a Little Lamb. 4 episodes where he had a significant role in. People who say Duck was given no attention in Season 6, I strongly disagree with. Duck is great in Scaredy Engines, helping Percy and laughing at Thomas's misfortune. I also will say I do not like the Thomas hates Duck theory, but let's move on. In Season 7, unfortunately, Duck did absolutely nothing. He didn't get any significant roles. The closest thing he got was Snow Engine. And he didn't even speak in the season. Season 6 is definitely the winner for Duck. Next, I'll talk about Percy. Percy in Season 6 is mostly good, and I prefer him to how he was in Season 7. They really did do a lot with Percy in Season 6. He gets good episodes like Scaredy Engines, Jack Frost, The Fogman, and Percy's Chocolate Crunch, where he's mostly in character. I do feel that he is a bit childish and simplistic, like in episodes Percy in the Haunted Mine and Ed with the Really Useful Engine, but I don't think Percy was bad in Season 6. In Season 7, Percy took more of a back seat, only getting one lead role and Percy gets it right. Percy is fine in this episode, but overall, it's a mid-episode. I like Percy caring for Thomas and all, but I don't like the Fat Controller dismissing Percy. Percy's best moment in the season was in James and the Queen of Sodor, when he blows mud on Gordon and sand on James. I like to believe that when he blew sand on James, he did it on purpose as a joke. James in Season 6 and 7 are both really good in my opinion. Both seasons have James perfectly in character. James's best episodes in Season 6 are Middle Engine, when he teased Percy, and Jack Frost, when he gets spooked by Percy, covered in ice, and runs away, and in Thomas and the Jet Engine, when he jokes about Gordon being full of hot air. I will say, James and the Red Balloon is one of the weaker episodes of Season 6, because Thomas and James are very idiotic for believing that a hot air balloon, which you can only carry like a maximum of 4 people at a time, could replace them. In Season 7, James got a lead role in the episode James and the Queen of Sodor, which is in my opinion the best episode of the season and one of the best James episodes. He brags to Gordon about his paintwork, but then he gets tricked by Gordon into taking a rusty old barge to the smellers, almost getting covered in sludge in the process, and then gets covered in sand at the end of the episode by Percy. James is put through so much shit in this episode, but it's so deserved, for how much of a cocky dick he is at the start. It's not in a mean-spirited way, and it's really funny to watch him fail. Gordon in Season 6 was also great. People complain too much about how Gordon is being too grumpy in Season 6, but to that I say, well, it's entertaining and it's part of Gordon's character. His best episodes were Gordon Takes a Tumble, where we see him pull a goods train and him resulting in the most insane crash he's ever had, and Thomas and the Jet Engine, where he's left speechless after Thomas overtakes him. Gordon was still good in Season 7, but I liked him more in Season 6. He cleverly tricks James in James and the Queen of Sodor, and has a nice story where he meets Spencer and kickstarts a rivalry between him. Now, there are 2 characters I think had amazing moments in Season 6. The first one is Toby. He had good appearances in The Fogman and It's Only Snow, but his highlight is in Toby Had a Little Lamb. Before I talk about this episode, I find it weird how Toby's main episodes this season are all in the winter. Anyways, Toby Had a Little Lamb is a great Toby episode. He is perfectly in character, braving through a heavy blizzard and crossing a dangerous old bridge to help some lambs. This is the Toby we all know and love. Toby's Windmill is a good episode, and it's nice to see him helping out the miller, but nothing exciting really happens in the episode, and it's just good. Not great, not awful, just a good Toby episode, nothing more. The other character that had an amazing moment in Season 6 was Henry. Unfortunately, we barely see Henry in Season 6. Moments I liked was when he teased Thomas in It's Only Snow and when he teased Percy in Percy's Chocolate Crunch. However, his best appearance is in The World's Strongest Engine. When Diesel fails to pull 20 trucks, Henry is asked to take them when he comes out the works. And we get an amazing long scene of Henry leaving the docks, pulling the 20 trucks with ease. With the low camera angle and the triumphant music, this is one of the best Henry scenes ever, and was his true finale in the classic series. Unfortunately, in Season 7, Henry's lead was one of the worst episodes in the classic series. Henry himself is okay in the episode, I do appreciate his determination, but it's Thomas and Percy's treatment towards him that makes me hate this episode. Speaking of the Blue Tank Engine, I think it's finally time to talk about him now. So, I saved Thomas till the end of the video. Now, I will explain why I think Thomas in Season 6 is superior to Thomas in Season 7. Thomas is handled way better in Season 6 because he kept his personality from Season 5, mostly. Let's talk about his main appearances in this season one by one in detail. The episode itself isn't great, but I love how Thomas was handled in Harvey to the Rescue, which is something I cannot say for the other main characters in that episode. Thomas is very much in his Season 5 version here. He feels sorry for Harvey when he is being put down by the other engines and tries to cheer him up. Even though I really like Thomas in this episode, part of me wishes Edward had the role instead. In the episode Elizabeth the Vintage Lorry, Thomas and Elizabeth argue to each other. Normally I would say Thomas is being a bit selfish, but in this situation I completely understand Thomas being unhappy at her. I would be cross as well at someone who called me careless for something out of my control. I like how in The Fogman, when he feels sorry for Cyril when he loses his job, it shows how much he has grown from the earlier seasons, where he didn't care about anyone but himself. In the Jack in the Pack two-parter, he is supportive of Jack and is happy for him when he joins the pack at the end. A great moment for Thomas's character. Something I barely see anyone talk about is Thomas's determination in It's Only Snow. This is one of the best Thomas moments in the show. Despite the fact he has no snowplow and has to push through the snow to get to the station, he does it without complaining. Very underrated episode, especially considering his previous history with snow and how much he hates it. Thomas has a sweet moment in Twin Trouble when he is concerned for the twins not wanting to work with each other. Again, showing Thomas's mature side. In Scaredy Engines, Thomas is a bit of a dick to Percy at the smelters, but I will let this one slide because it is Halloween and I'm sure any character in the show would tease someone at Halloween. And Thomas running away from the smelters was really funny. His fear of ghosts hasn't gotten away since season 2, has it? I already explained how Thomas, along with James, was a bit dumb in the red balloon, but it's not too bad or distracting. Him teasing Gordon and Gordon takes a tumble and then later trying to make Gordon feel better was a nice moment for him. Now, unfortunately, Thomas, Percy and the Squeak is the only time this season where I think Thomas was kind of bad. Him being mean to poor Percy wasn't pleasant, but it doesn't ruin Thomas in this season. And unlike some episodes we'll get to in season 7, his apology here doesn't feel forced. I remember in a video a while ago I talked about how much I hated this episode, but it's not terrible, it's just bad, and it is still my least favourite episode from season 6, but I don't hate it as much as I used to. Lastly, we have Thomas the Jet Engine, or the better sounding Thomas and the Jet Engine, the US title. Like, why did they call it Thomas V Jet Engine? It's not like he is the jet engine. I'm just getting distracted at this point. Anyways, this is an insane but great episode for Thomas. Thomas dreams of going faster than Gordon, and he achieves that dream by accident and has the time of his life. I really wish this was the final episode of season 6, having Thomas achieve one of his dreams. Overall, in season 6, Thomas did have a couple rough moments like in Thomas, Percy and the Squeak, but besides that, I think Thomas was handled wonderfully in this season. His best episode was It's Only Snow, definitely. Now, time to talk about Thomas in season 7. I won't go through every major Thomas appearance in season 7 like I did with season 6, but I will say, Thomas got absolutely ruined in this season. Most of the episodes revolve around him being horrible to a character. One positive thing about it is that I like how he stopped being an asshole to Percy, but now he's an asshole to everyone else, which sucks. Episodes like What's the Matter with Henry, The Spotless Record, and Salty's Stormy Tale are horrible Thomas appearances. In What's the Matter with Henry, he, along with Percy, are really nasty to Henry. I will always hate when they leave all the trucks for Henry. That was so mean-spirited. Comparing this to how he treated Henry and the Elephant all the way back in season 4 to this, it's just awful. I actually had an idea to rewrite this episode. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with this plan, but my main idea for it is, I would have Henry still be ill, and Thomas and Percy notice this, and try to help him by taking all the trucks to the docks, but they struggle because it's too heavy, and then Henry comes to help Thomas and Percy in return. That would have been a great episode, and I wish that was a reality. If someone wants to do that story idea of a rewrite, then go ahead, but please credit me for the idea. Now that I think about it more, that would make for a great TV series version of Super Rescue. In The Spotless Record, Thomas plays a mean trick on Arthur for no reason, basically, resulting in his spotless record being ruined. Wow, Thomas, what a twat you are. I don't care if he apologised at the end, the moral was forced and Thomas is so unlikable. And in Salty's Stormy Tale, he and Percy hurt Salty's feelings by imitating him. Yes, I know they didn't mean to hurt Salty, but it was still in a mocking way. This is probably the least bad of the 3 episodes, and I like how they try to apologise to him immediately, but it's still not good. I'm sorry. I do, however, want to end this video on a positive note, and I'll talk about a couple times where I think Thomas had some bright spots in Season 7. I love his interaction with Edward and Edward's brass band, which feels very similar to the scene from Saved from Scrap in Season 2. 3 Cheers for Thomas is Thomas's best appearance in the season, because he is in his Seasons 5 to 6 persona, trying to be really useful and forgetting about the race to do his job. This is a nice episode. Wow, I'm finally done. This was longer than the narrage video. Those are the reasons why I personally think Season 6 is the better season to Season 7. I hope you all enjoyed this video and listening to my points, and I shall see you in the next video. Oh boy, I know Thomas Productions is gonna fucking hate me after this.